Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today for the 2024 Media and Moving Image Awards ceremony. I apologize for the delay and for the number of technical issues we're experiencing today. I know it's ironic since we are media and the moving image, but such is life and technology. My name is Karen Tsang. I'm the founder and chair of the Media and Moving Image Initiative, and I'm so thrilled this year, as every year, to recognize all the amazing work our students have been doing. If I could ask all of you who are listening in, if you could turn off your mic, that might help. I think we have a lot of background noise right now. I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm seeing it, but that would be a big help. Last year, or the big news in this past year in media has been AI. This has been affecting something we're all talking about in the classroom, but it's also something that obviously affects media practitioners of all kinds. And for our students who are planning to go on to work with media as creatives, as producers, as scholars, the impact of AI has been sort of doubly meaningful, both in terms of what they're doing in the classroom, but also how it affects their future careers. In my own classroom, however, I was thrilled to see, while all of us are worried about what's going to happen to questions of originality, of ownership, of unique work, I think the threat of AI or the promise of AI has only reinforced people's commitment to a sort of renewed authenticity. And I know in my own classroom, I've seen that with a sort of fierce defense of originality and the human. Where we talked about this in the final week of the semester, the students were really ardent in their commitment to original work. And then it was very rewarding as entries for the competition came in this year. We had some of the best scripts I've seen so far in the history of our competition, and these wonderful collaborations between students. We have a fan film, a film that was made by entering into a pitch fest where the winning student was able to draw on the production work of the creative team that was available through that separate work as well. So I love the fact that the Student Prize Competition allows us to keep pace with the times and also to challenge it. In terms of programming this year, MMI had a very busy November. So first, we welcomed from New York Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Jeff K. Lieberman with his Houston debut screening, Bella, This Woman's Place is in the House, about the great politician and civic leader Bella Abzug, which was presented in combination with UH's own Leandra Darno. And as you know, Bella, and in particular the 1973 Women's Conference, has a long and important tie to the University of Houston. So this was a really wonderful event and particularly meaningful at this time of sort of protecting women's rights politically and in the world. In that same weekend, which was a very busy weekend here at the U of H campus, we also had the Southwest Conference for Asian Studies with a number of panels on media and popular culture, musical performances, and faculty and scholars who are participating virtually from all over the world. There's also a film screening as well that talks about questions of adaptation from novel to screen. All of that was presented or organized under the leadership of our incredibly active faculty member, Dr. Melody Lee, in Chinese Studies. And then just a few weeks ago, Dr. Lee again had another event on campus, a multimedia research and education project using digital platforms to explore space in Chinese cities. Another thing that I'm proud to report on this year in the Media and Moving Image Initiative is the launch of our social media channel, which, again, is super important for a media studies program. And so this was led by our inaugural MMI social media interns, Bailey Alvarado and Brene Minute. And we used the Instagram to explain the MMI mission and operations with Gina Connor's wonderful words from a few years ago, to remind faculty and students to apply for programming funds, also to advertise the Student Prize Competition, which I think sort of helped amp up the quality and number of submissions that we got, We also are functioning as a kind of guinea pig for other departments in the college and on campus to use social media to advertise courses. So you can see in the middle there an advertisement that was developed for Professor Lorraine Scott in English to advertise her course on medieval film and literature. And that course is always very popular, but I will say that the course also filled just a few days after it was advertised on Instagram. So, well, we're using social media to meet the students on their own platforms. And so I encourage all of you to follow us on UH Class MMI. So you'll know next year when the programming funds are available and when you can get started on the student prize competition. So I will say more about the student competition in a moment, but first I'd like to welcome the class dean, Daniel O'Connor, whose loyal support makes this initiative possible.
Thank you, Dr. Fang. On behalf of the class, I'm very pleased to welcome everyone to this event. It recognizes and honors a wide array of interdisciplinary work across many departments. Media and the moving image provide space and opportunity for collaboration and exchange among our scholars and practitioners in areas as diverse as the visual and performing arts, languages, literature and culture, communication and technology, and of course, humanities and social sciences. So this environment created by MMI supports and enhances those disciplines and work at the intersection of those disciplines, but also, importantly, advances our understanding of how visual, literary, and media arts influence our society, and define our culture, which is something, of course, that's becoming increasingly important to understand in today's society. Today's award winners and honorees represent the best of that work, and I hope that they enjoy celebrating their accomplishments and successes. And I will say, given Dr. Fang's introductory comments about AI, sometimes as Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, I'm asked about AI, and class is all about AI, actual intelligence or authentic intelligence. But thank you again for joining us today, and I now return the program to Dr. Fang.
Thank you, Dean O'Connor. And now one of the main attractions of today's event is our wonderful keynote speaker. It is my honor today to introduce our keynote speaker to inspire our students, Patrick Myatt, showrunner and executive producer for the hit unscripted reality series Texas Metal and Loud and Lifted. Both shows, which are set in Houston, focus on the personalities and projects in two automotive customization shops. The shows are produced in conjunction with Discovery and Motor Trend. Texas Metal is in its 7th season, and Loud and Lifted has just wrapped season 2. Personal anecdote: when I met Patrick at a holiday party last year, 2 other guests I were with were so excited to meet the man behind the shows they love that I couldn't get in a word in edgewise. So that was pretty demonstrative evidence to me about the kind of impact that Patrick shows are making locally and nationwide. As a visual storyteller, Patrick Myatt got a start by interning with James Cameron's production company, Lightstorm Entertainment. From there, he worked his way to other projects, eventually getting his first producing job on the sketch comedy show, the 1990s sketch comedy show, The Tom Green Show. That role led to other opportunities, producing a variety of other television shows, but Patrick eventually found his niche in automotive programming. After helping refine some other auto reality shows, Patrick was invited to run Texas Metal. If you know Patrick's story, it's easy to see the similarities between his own career and the creative work and people who shows feature. The automotive specialists on Texas Metal and Loud and Lifted aren't just mechanics or welders, but visionaries who pour their heart and soul into each vehicle they revive and reinvent. Patrick, similarly, aims to inspire viewers to see beyond the process of projects. His goal in his shows is to emphasize the characters behind their craft and to elevate the character story. Raised in Burbank, California, Patrick Myatt may seem to have always been destined for television, but he's also the son of a school teacher and someone who knows how important it is for leaders to welcome the next generation of creatives. So in particular, we at MMI are thrilled to announce that Patrick is generously helping underwrite one of the prizes for next year's Student Prize Competition. Please join me in welcoming Patrick Myatt.
Hello, everybody. Go Cougs. Can you guys hear me all right? Excellent. First off, I just wanted to say congratulations to everybody who submitted in today's festival. Take a second and applaud yourselves. You guys set out to achieve something and you did it. And that's pretty much the floor for whatever you want to be successful for in life. I'm extremely honored to be here today and for you to allow me to share my story and my experience in the industry with you. Like Karen said, my name is Patrick Myatt. I'm a showrunner and co-owner of Coach Built Content. This is now my 27th year in the film and television industry. And I'd like to share with you my path from how I went from a young hobbyist to an independent contractor to now a company co-owner. So as Karen said, I was born in Burbank in the year 1979, so last century. And when I grew up in Burbank, it was kind of, there was two sides to it. There was the film and television side with Warner Brothers and NBC being there, but there was also Lockheed there as well. So grew up with a lot of, parents who were sheet metal workers and welders. And between those two, classes of people, cars were very important, from high-end producer cars to cool old school and muscle cars, from all the workers at Lockheed. So the two things or three things that were cool in Burbank were films, television, and cool cars. So it's kind of been in my blood from the very beginning. In liking cars and liking film and television, I was digging around in my dad's closet one day, as you do, and I found this beautiful 8mm camera, and I wanted to know absolutely everything about it. My dad, being a good guy and a teacher, taught me how to use the camera and bought me a couple of rolls of film, and it was off from there. I would film with my brothers, the kids in the neighborhood. I'd invite kids over from school for the weekends and do stop motion or short films with no audio, and that was where it all started. Cut to some years later, my dad bought a camera that was attached to a VCR, and if you wanted to move around, you needed to go with the VCR, which was rather heavy. So I would have my brother carry the VCR and I would shoot the camera. But that was just something we did all the time. Eventually, cameras became detached from carrying the big VCR, and we would go out and still film and learn to edit deck to deck before nonlinear editing was a thing. Now I feel super old, but fun path. And then in 10th grade, I won my first film festival, the Logan Film Awards. And I think that was kind of the first time where I was like, oh, well, it's just kind of past, making my friends look fun or making jokes, that maybe I could have a career in doing this. I went to college for a couple years. I PA'd on a couple of movies like Legally Blonde and Swordfish. And then, like Karen said, I landed an internship at Lightstorm, which was James Cameron's production company. And I met all sorts of people there. I saw all sorts of things. I made really, really great connections. And by my time I was done there, I really felt there was kind of, two paths in front of me. One was to finish school, and the other one was to take some of the opportunities in front of me and start my career. And I am in no way saying that you need to drop out of school to be successful. I think that is the dumbest advice anybody could give. In a lot of ways, I wish I would have finished and had a proper alma mater. But at the time, I decided to take some work and move forward. The big decision at that point was, do I move to film and television, or do I move to film, or do I move to television? For me, I knew people that were in film and their careers varied in length, but the people that I knew in television seemed to, kind of work all the way into their 60s, and I couldn't really ever see myself doing anything else. So I chose the TV route. then in my early 20s, yeah, I got to produce the Tom Green show, and that was a whole nother experience. Really great first TV experience. It was a large crew, and hard deadlines, and quick, on the fly creativity. And it was also the first time that I worked under a really, really seasoned showrunner by the name of Bert DeBrau, who totally impressed me. And just the way he ran the crew, the way he dealt with people, his total vision from A to Z, that inspired me. And I said, not today, not tomorrow, but I know I can do what he's doing maybe in 20 years. But that's what kind of set me on my path to, be a showrunner. After the MTV stuff, produced some things for BBC as well, and then moved my way up the producer ladder from segment producer to field producer to actual producer. And then I found a production company that produced all automotive programming. And this was kind of like a dream come true. It, combined my two loves in life, which were cars and television. So I worked there for about 5 years. I was on the road for about 300 days a year, but I was doing everything that I love to do, making TV, and also, um, being in the car and motorcycle world. Did 7 shows over there, and I think that one of the best parts about that job was like I was working probably 320 days a year, and that gave me a lot of time to experiment, focus on styles, on storytelling, dealing with so many different people. I feel like I really kind of honed my skills and getting into who people were, and that kind of what they were doing, although it was cool, was almost secondary, and that people will always relate with the human story, and then whatever they're doing, if they people like them, it's gravy. So um, I then got headhunted by a company called Live Universe, and that was a spin-off from the creators of MySpace. It was a new social media platform. It didn't work out, but I did learn a very, very important lesson, because I hopped away from the television industry for about 3 years. And then once that business had failed, I tried to get back into TV, and it took a little bit of time, not long, but I did have to take a couple steps, down the producer, ladder, to get back in. So I always say, once you're in, stay in, and keep on it, because eventually, if you stay out too long, you kind of become invisible to people. But it didn't take long for me to get back to where I left off, and got right back into doing a lot of car shows and guy-oriented content, which was fun. Moved up to supervising producer, and then eventually co-EP, but always with focus on who are the people building the cars, or who are the people doing the thing. And the shows have all done really well, and it also kind of got me recognized above the people that always just focus on the car rather than the personality. And I think that's kind of a big part of the success. People want to relate to people, so you always have to find the heart, and you have to find the relatability, or if not, like the reasoning for who somebody is, and why they're there. People need human connections, and I think real connections in long form, aside from maybe podcasts, you don't get a lot of those anymore. So I think they're becoming more and more important in the authenticity of long form storytelling. Um, yep. Eventually, I got an offer to come out here to beautiful Houston, and do season 1 of Texas Metal, and I did absolutely fall in love with Houston. I was blown away by just the amount of culture that was here, the music, the car scene, the businesses, the people. I mean, I was really overwhelmed. I left after season 1 to go work on Wheeler Dealers, and then I got a call from the network. Season 1 here was a hit, and I was back in Los Angeles, and they said, "We really want you to come out and do season 2." And I took a long, hard look at it, and did a crazy move, and I sold my house in Los Angeles. I bought a house out here in Houston, and I kind of put all my chips in, and I said, I think Houston needs to have a spotlight on it, and I would, love to tell the stories that I find here. So I did season 2 here, bought a house here, and yeah, now we've wrapped season 7. That was almost what 7.5, almost 8 years ago. Just wrapped season 2 on our second show, Loud and Lifted. We're constantly pitching and selling other projects, from around here, and it's been nothing short of a blessing. Houston opened its arms to me, and I think this is a really, really great place if you're an artist, to stay and really show the rest of the world, what's going on. People know what's going on in LA. People know what's going on in New York. But we need artists, I think, here in Houston to really be sharing these stories that are all around us because they're really cool. I think they're super important, and they give like a really awesome, fresh perspective that you're not going to find anywhere else. Um, cool. So, some advice if you happen to be hopping into this direction of the world, but I think it kind of goes blanketed across all artistic forms. Uh, uh, Being a working artist, it's very, very, very hard work. I have a friend, Davis. He said, you can teach talent, but you can't teach work ethic. And that's true. You really need to be of the mindset when you come to work, like you have to put it all in. Like there's going to be times when it'll be frustrating, or egos will clash, or it's too hot out, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like you have to be ready, to put the work in. Hopefully, school has made you talented, and then the work ethic when you get into the industry, like that has to be on you to really get through it and get after it. Um, Starting out, odds are you'll probably get a entry level position. In my industry, it's a production assistant, and I think that's a really, really great place to start because you get an opportunity to kind of bounce around and you can see all of the departments. You can see what the camera department does. You can see what production does. You can see what producing does, and they're all very different. You can see, what grip and electric do, and you can talk with different people, in there. And coming in at an entry level, like most of the time, they'll be happy to answer questions and just give you a scope of what those paths are to go down. And choosing that path is super duper important, if you ask my advice. um, 3, making friends in this, making connections, further up the path that you would like to find yourself. Like, okay, so like Bert DeBrow, when I saw he was an awesome showrunner, like I went out of my way and try to, just at least be work friends with him. But then I became, actual friends with him. And, he taught me a lot of things and I learned a lot of things. There was a lot of things that he said that I didn't understand at the time, but 15 years later made a whole lot of sense. And finding those people, at the end of your path to kind of give you advice and, their roadmap, I think is super helpful in pretty much anything you do, but especially when you kind of pick a department, that you want to go through. 4, um, make friends that are your age, that are all kind of starting out and in the same boat as you are. I have guys like that now. We've been friends, 27 years. Like we've all kind of gone different directions. One's a VP at Sony, the other one's a head of development, but we all stay in touch. We all look out for each other. And, no matter what's happening, if somebody needs a gig or somebody has somebody that wants to move up, like those relationships are invaluable. Like, and, maybe you work together on one show, you become friends. Then they work on 2 shows somewhere else. You work on 2 shows somewhere else. And then you're looking for work. And then they have a job or they know about a job. Those communications will help you stay afloat and, stay in the industry. Um, Number 5, you have to care about being great at all aspects of your job, from production assistant all the way up to showrunner. You have to ask yourself, can I do more? Or how can I make this better? In the car world, there's a saying, if there's time to lean, there's time to clean. And that's just like if you find yourself with free time, like there's probably something you could be sweeping or cleaning up. You always kind of have to stay busy, even if it's not physically, like like you have to mentally, like, okay, what can I do to be more efficient? What can I do to make cleaning up later a little bit easier now? Um, was that the best performance? Should I get another take? Like it's a constant, you know, assessing of yourself at that moment. Am I doing everything possible to make this go, as smoothly as possible? And then 6, Be someone that people want to be around for 12 hours. You know, the days are long and hard, and positivity and competence goes an awful long way. Um, Sometimes there'll be somebody who's slightly above you, or maybe has more experience than you, but if you're, you know, positive and competent, you'll often get hired more than the person that's hard to work with and be around for 12 hours a day. And then kind of bonus on AI, because Karen brought it up. I have really looked at this deeply, and I think that it's just another paintbrush and it's another set of colors in, you know, in the repertoire here. I don't think it's going, you know, will it replace some things? Sure, but it's not going to replace human storytelling. It's not going to replace human beings like making art. Like, you know, I watched a conference on AI and they said, you know, it won't replace people, but it might replace people that don't know how to use it. So I think, you know, if you're a writer, learn how to, you know, use AI to help you do scripts. If you're an artist, learn what AI can do, but also, you know, do your thing as well too. Like this is it's a really super awesome assistant. It's not a new computer overlord that's going to be you know, taking over the world. Well, hopefully. James Cameron would probably disagree with Skynet, but he made a whole movie about that. Highly recommend watching it. Great films. And with that, I just want to say thank you. Like I said, I've been through many formats and uh, constantly learning. And from a, you know, 8mm camera to shooting everything digital to now using AI, it moves fast. So always keep learning and always keep working hard and make great art. And you know, tell stories that are important to you. Tell stories that are close to you. Every single person here has one of those. And if you can find yourself doing that for a living, it's really super cool.
Thank you so much, Patrick. So I will now proceed to introduce our wonderful jury. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. Gracie Chavez. Gracie Chavez, UH Valenti grad and Houston-based musician, music impresario, and city official, Gracie Chavez has been a prominent member of the local music scene for 2 decades. In the early 2000s, during the rise of Houston's rap music scene to the global stage, Gracie was the in-house PR writer for Swisha House, Chamillionaire, and other influential rappers. In 2010, Gracie helped found Bonbon, a popular Latin music collective of DJ and musicians and events based on cumbia, Houston rap, and tropical bass. A DJ herself, Gracie's skills and taste-making selections on the deck earned invitations nationwide. In 2016, she was named one of Houston's best DJs, and music releases from the Bonbon label exemplify the city of Houston's incredible diversity. Like Taylor Swift, Bonbon Texas is also a dedicated advocate for women in music and their impact as community leaders. Aside from being a music industry impresario, Gracie is also an accomplished communication specialist and marketing and advertising entrepreneur. Early in her career, she co-founded a web design studio, and in 2018, she co-founded Rucas Cultura, a multicultural marketing agency. Currently, in yet another sign of her impact, ability, and multiple talents, Gracie has a pioneering role in the City of Houston's Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs. There, as a music and cultural tourism officer dedicated to advancing Houston's music industry and tourism, Gracie helps devise strategy and policies for the municipal support of Houston musicians and the music industry. In 2022, she drafted an ordinance and founded the first Houston Music Advisory Board, which is made up of a diverse group of music industry stakeholders. She also continues to lead the Music Board's work in support of the local music community. She has lectured on music cultural influence and performed at art institutions like the Contemporary Art Museum Houston and the Houston Symphony. Next, we have Amy Feidelberg. Amy Feidelberg is an award-winning photography director and creative producer based in California. She is currently a photo creative lead at Airbnb and previously ran the photo creative at She previously was the photo creative at the digital payment platform Square. While at Square, Amy generated the visuals across all platforms from social channels, web, paid media, and out-of-home placement. She also founded an award-winning in-house brand magazine at Square called The Reader. Before Square, Amy was photo director at Los Angeles and Outside magazines, a curator, and a creative producer. She's also a founding curator on the nonprofit creative team, Images for Humanity. Throughout her career, Amy Feidelberg has worked with the best photographers in the business and has spearheaded photo shoots all over the world. Her industry awards include a gold medal from the Society of Publication Designers for Best Photo Essay. She recently won 2 bronze medals from the American Advertising Awards for campaign work, and she has received nods of excellence from Communication Arts and the American Photography Photo Annual. And then finally, Todd Green. Todd Green is an award-winning filmmaker based in Houston, winner of the Best Comedy Drama at the 2018 Manhattan Film Festival. Todd's feature film Avalanche is a witty, sexy, and tightly plotted character study of a librarian whose wife and her lover trapped together in a house. Praised for its smart, snappy dialogue and great performances, Avalanche is streaming online. More recently, after 4 years as a senior copywriter and creative director at a boutique content agency, Todd just this year launched Media TLG, a full-service digital content writing and visual production company. A lifelong admirer of film and television, Todd brings his creativity and a filmmaker's eye to every project. He always seeks to find positives in every written or recorded work. So a big thanks to these wonderful jurors. Now, as we move into the awards themselves, I just want to review again, given the diversity of the media activity we have on campus, I want to talk again about just the different competition categories that we have. There are 3 categories: critical, creative, and applied technology. Critical would be like scholarly essays and research projects. Creative is usually for screenplays, short films, and photo essays. Applied technology, maybe apps, websites, data visualization, business plans. And in addition to that, we have a 4th category, the jury prize, which is reserved for special projects that the jurors maybe felt like, that maybe didn't win in one of the special categories that the jurors chose to specifically recognize. And the jurors are also empowered, given the sort of complicated, the very different kinds of work that we get. The jurors are also empowered to sometimes move submissions from one category to another if they think it makes sense in a different category. So please, entrants, if you don't hear your name in the category that you submitted to, don't leave the meeting, because it may very well be in a different category. And of course, the jury prize is the last award. So please stay through all of the categories. And I will say that the jurors also sometimes award honorable mention in categories. So in some categories, there may be an honorable mention as well as a winner. Sometimes there may only be an honorable mention or something. And then a reminder also that for everyone who submitted, we also have a special thank you gift. So if you haven't picked it up, please reach out to the MMI. Please email MMI to schedule time and you can pick up the thank you gift. And also, for all of you entrants, if you'd like to get the juror comments, you can also email MMI, and we will provide these comments from the jurors. They were thrilled to receive all of your work, and they have some very thoughtful comments for all of you. So feel free to email MMI to get those. But first, I'd love to share a little sizzle, a little montage of the amazing work that all of you have done. So big thanks and to Ansbert Dan Lewis, who is a talented film editor and graduating major in advertising, who not only cut together that montage, but also composed the orchestration for it as well. So just another example of our incredibly gifted students here at the UH campus. So on to the winner announcement. In the first category of applied technology, the honorable mention goes to Cindy Munoz for the app prototype and public consciousness campaign, Develop Not Displace. Develop Not Displace is a visual branding guide and engagement tool to support the Stop Houston Gentrification campaign. Although still in its early stages, Develop Not Displace offers a compelling vision of how its graphics and planned interactive features might educate, inspire, and empower users to take meaningful action. Congratulations, Cindy. For the winner in applied technology, it goes to Amina Williams for Streamline, a web-based research project about the history of OS graphics. Presented as an interactive timeline, Streamline is an eye-catching, engaging educational website about eye-catching and educational design. And here to say a few words about Streamline is the juror, Amy Feidelberg.
Hi, my name is Amy Feidelberg, and I'm one of the jurors on the competition. And a little bit about me, because you don't know who I am. I am a photography professional. I've worked in publishing most of my career. I worked at a bunch of magazines in New York City, at Entertainment Weekly, New York Magazine, Rolling Stone. And then I was photo director at Outside Magazine, based in Santa Fe, New Mexico at the time. Now it's in Colorado. I was photo director at Los Angeles Magazine, and now I live in the Bay Area, and I moved to the tech sector like everybody else. And I was working at the financial tech company Square for a number of years as a photo creative lead. And now I'm freelance, and I've been at Airbnb, and I'm currently at the Farmer's Dog making really fun photography with dogs and dog food. So a creative career is possible, but you got to roll with the punches and always be pivoting to meet the moment. But I'm here to announce the winner for the Applied Technology Award, and it is my great honor to announce that Amina Williams is the winner of that award for her project Streamline. Amina, I think it was universally agreed upon that it was a really innovative and smart project. I read what you were saying about creating a timeline in your artist statement, and I think timelines can often feel kind of dry and boring, or maybe there's just data points on a grid, but you really made it come to life. You used a lot of great graphics, animations, videos to get your point across. And even though the website needed a little more proofreading, there's some little spelling errors in there, but that was easy to overlook. That overall the project was really well done, and I think you could take it even further. Some of the other feedback from the other jurors was saying it was a great great concept to chronicle the design of the Windows OS design, and that the execution was really great. And that was universally agreed upon, that the execution was really well done, and it was easy to navigate. It was easy to get your point, see what your points were. And again, I think the visual elements really made the project sing. So well done. And I would love to see what you're going to do next, if you're going to expand on it, or what else your ideas have in store for us. Thank you so much for sharing your work, and thank you to everybody in the competition, and good luck and congratulations. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Amy. I know I can hear the echo as well. Apologies again for everybody working so hard, and then unfortunately something's going wrong on my end. And I feel terrible about it, but that's to attract an amazing work of all of you. In the next category of critical studies, the jurors decided to award 2 honorable mentions. So in the place of a winner, they wanted to recognize 2 important works. The first honorable mention goes to Emmy Tomasello for her scholarly essay, The Enemy Par Excellence. In this work of cultural anthropology, Emmy examines fascism through a comparative study of the 1940 Nazi film Youth Suit and D.W. Griffith's landmark 1915 American film Birth of a Nation. Both of these films, I'll tell you as a film scholar I know, are already the subject of vast scholarship, but Emmy's essay still makes important points about apathy and ideology. The jurors were especially touched by the creator statement in which Emmy notes the relevance of this study to today's divided society. Congratulations, Emmy. And in the second honorable mention, the jurors wanted to recognize Lawson Whitford for his video essay, Blade Runner, The Art of the Edit.
All of these choices, as Rawlings said, paint a picture of an art house film. In this scene, we are immersed into a totally different world, yet one not too alien from ours. A world in which life, even artificial life, dies the same way natural life does. Neon lights shine brightly in a dark city. Crowded streets fill an empty society. The editing first confuses, then focuses the audience to the beauty of life and death and the subjective experience of both.
Thank you. In this richly illustrated and carefully produced video essay, Lawson explores subjective sound mixing and POV shots during a crucial early action sequence, which sets up the psychological mystery central to the film's plot. Like Emmy's piece, Lawson is bravely taking on an extremely extensively studied subject, but the excellent combination of analysis, editing, and voiceover in this video essay is a wonderful example of the power of the video essay form. Congratulations, Lawson. And Emmy and Lawson, we're thrilled that we're able this year to offer a small prize for the honorable mention as well. So you'll be hearing from me regards that. In the next category, creative, we are also start with 1 honorable mention, and that honorable mention in the creative category goes to Noble Akuma for the short film Chronicle, which is a charming lo-fi glimpse into a young man's hopes and fantasies as he tries to discover a superpower within himself.
There's a fire that burns so much brighter when it glows. It could light up the whole night sky. Now I know I can fight on my own. Don't need pressure when it glows. It'll light up your whole damn life.
Congratulations, Noble. And then for the winner of the creative category, this goes to Afriel Rodriguez for her personal montage about her earlier self, Miss Me Left.
Happy birthday.
Okay, Mommy, I'm gonna start over.
Thank you. And to speak about Miss Me Left, we have juror Todd Green.
Hi, Afriel. My name is Todd Green. I'm one of the jurors on this year's University of Houston Media and Moving Image Student Prize Competition. On behalf of myself and my fellow jurors, I'd like to congratulate you on winning the 2024 Creative Award for Miss Me Less. When I first screened Miss Me Less, I was blown away, connecting to it on multiple levels as a filmmaker and also, this might sound strange, as a father. My son is 2 years old now, and watching the contrast between home videos and the other footage you recorded, I began reflecting on all the photos and videos we're currently taking of my baby, and how someday, as he grows and changes and experiences life, he'll inherit these visual memories and interact with them in different ways that my wife and I do, and ultimately will. This was an important light bulb moment for me, actually, so I thank you for conceiving, producing, and sharing this project with us and the world. Cinematically, my fellow jurors and I found the shots and editing quite advanced and beautiful. The contrast, again, between home videos and contemporary footage was emotionally striking and visually striking. One of my fellow jurors mentioned that she felt connected to the movie by witnessing the beauty of nostalgia and longing, love, loss, and missed opportunities. This was as we discussed the film and decided it was the clear winner in the creative category. Miss Me Less, by the way, tied for the highest score of all submissions, which included 4 different categories in the competition. So thank you again for submitting your project, which is now an award-winning project. I hope this win inspires you to continue expressing your creativity through video and film, as we all feel you have great potential as a storyteller. Okay, thanks. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Todd, and congratulations, Afriel. I think you can hear how much all the jurors were touched by Miss Me Less. And in the final category of jury prize winner, the jury selection, this is, as I said, usually independent of category, but this year we had such amazing screenplays, as I mentioned earlier, that the jurors decided that they were going to focus the jury selection prize towards the screenplays. And so first in the honorable mention category, or as an honorable mention, the juror wanted to recognize Lawson Whitford for the screenplay for psychological thriller, Dreams from Another Death. If you're listening, then you remember this is Lawson's second honorable mention in this year's competition, but the jury didn't know that these works came from the same maker. What they noticed about this screenplay, which is about a young woman with a relentless memory, that the author, the screenwriter, does a wonderful job portraying different levels of perception. The jury was particularly impressed that this is a script for a short film, and that he was able to do all of that to create that kind of tension within a single setting and scene. Congratulations, Lawson. And in the winner of the jury prize category, Huang for her screenplay for the teen drama Crisis Motel, about 2 women facing huge personal challenges. And to say a few words about the winner, here is Gracie Chavez.
Congratulations, Andrea, and good job on Crisis Hotel. You are the winner of the special jury category this year. We enjoyed reading about the story of 2 really good friends. There's a sweetness to the story and the relationships here that is warm and inviting. The crisis added another layer that shines extra perspective on Diana and Lainey's traumas. So hope to see an adaptation to this script next, and glad to hear that you're on the mend. Your talent and dedication have truly shown through, and it's wonderful to see your hard work recognized. Here's to many more successes in your future endeavors. On behalf of myself, Gracie Chavez, from the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, and the rest of the jurors, congratulations again. Thank you.
Congratulations, Andrea, and congratulations to all our honorable mentions winners and all your entrants as well. You all did amazing work. So a reminder again, if you haven't already picked up your souvenir thank you gift for submitting, please reach out and try to schedule a time with me or to pick it up. Also remember that you can also request the juror comments on your entries, which were all wonderful. And again, I apologize for the technical issues that happened in today's ceremony, because you all did amazing work, and I regret that we weren't able, that our celebration honoring of you was impeded by these unanticipated technical issues. A big thanks to all the teachers and students, the juries, and Dean O'Connor for making this possible, and everyone behind the scenes, off camera and off screen, which includes Lariah Smith, George Saunders, Zuleika Kadalka, Jessica Tiem, and especially Bilal Trafant, who always handles all of the back end platform issues with scoring, with receiving the applications, setting them up for the jurors, and processing the scores. Another big thanks to Dan Lewis for that wonderful montage, and our outgoing MMI social media fellow interns, and our Renee Minnis and Bailey Alvarado, and our outgoing MMI graduate fellow, Alyssa Christofferson. To all of you, keep thinking, making, dreaming, and creating. And I'll leave you with another view of the student montage.